Hey everybody, welcome. You caught me in the middle of eating a piece of candy. Oh, so still in my mouth. So hold on a second. I hope everybody's doing well. Um, Today obviously is Friday. Oh my goodness. So give me just 1 second, guys. I'm sorry. Just want to remind everybody before we get into it, we got a couple different topics we're going to talk about tonight. Okay, and first of all, I just want to remind everybody this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. So please be decent in the chat to each other, and of course, to me. Don't be mean. If you are, my awesome moderators will get in here and dump you out because they won't tolerate that. So they are awesome. And I saw Mr. Rose made a comment here. He had to run and go throw another log on the fire, and it was funny because it's like just before I started doing the video stream here. It's the first thing I did. I went in and I put another log on the fire. So I thought that was pretty funny. Got to keep that going. Check that way. I don't have to worry about checking it for the next hour. So I got my tea, of course, and all right. So a couple different things I want to talk about. Actually, there's three. So the first thing I want to talk about, I got sent some information, and I want to pull this up because I want to make sure I say this the right way, okay? So there's an Amish community, all right? And let me pull up this information. This is in Michigan, okay? And the ALCU is defending this Amish community, all right? So it's Lenawee, Lenawee County, and this is in Michigan, okay? So you have the town has decided, and they're going after the Amish people in this county, okay? The county health department for violating, this is what they're going after, the ALCU is going after them for violating their religious beliefs. Now, everybody knows Amish people don't have running water. They have wells that they use, and they have use outhouses. They don't have electricity. So this town is essentially wanting to bulldoze all these homes because they're not up to their code that they want them to be at, because of their religious beliefs, they're living a certain way. Now, what does this mean for you? You're not Amish. What do you care, right? But this is a direct thing. This is a direct attack on people's rights and liberties to live the way that they choose to live, okay? And I think, and I actually, believe it or not, and I'm not a huge fan of the ALCU. I'm going to tell you that right now. But I applaud them for standing up for these people because, this town is using taxpayers' dollars and stuff like that, basically to steal these people's lands and to evict them and get rid of their homes on that land. And I'm going to tell you what, Amish people don't bother anybody. They take care of their own business. They keep to themselves. They pay their taxes like they're supposed to pay their taxes, and they just do their own thing. So, you're welcome, Kat. It was a great thing, and I thought to myself, I definitely got to bring that up. So I wanted to bring that up. So thank you for sending me that information too. I appreciate that. But these are the things is what's wrong with this country right now. Too much overreach, too much government control of what we can and cannot do. It amazes me how we as an American people have said, nope, it's okay. It's fine that you take away my rights, take away my ability to do whatever I want to do. I have a huge issue with that. I think that is absolutely terrible. I don't think it should be allowed, and I'm glad that the ALCU is going after the town for that and help defending these people, because of course towns and government officials, they have endless money because they're using your money, your taxpayers' money. And again, why it's a plan to remove us from rural lands. You know what, Sierra Gold, you're right. They don't want us out there being independent as we possibly can be. It's all about control. If you can keep you in an environment where everybody's at, it's easier to control you. And like I said, I definitely have an issue with that. And, it's wrong on every single level. It is absolutely wrong. So, yeah, it's just, Right. Sue said, I have not, I have lived without running water and used an outhouse. It's not unsanitary if done right. And you're exactly right. The first year and a half that we lived here, we did not have running water, but we still took showers. We still, took care of our business. Now we brought water in, as far as that went at that time, but we did what we had to do until we could get things run up the way that we wanted to get things run up. So, but again, these attacks, you may think oh, this doesn't affect me, so I don't care, but it does. It affects all of us, because if they get away with doing stuff like that to the Amish, who's next? Let's look back, guys. I mean, history repeats itself over and over and over again. So you go back to Nazi Germany, and after they disarmed everybody, then they made, the enemy, the bad guy is the Jews. And the Jews, like everybody else, had turned in their weapons and stuff like that. And then look what happened. Look what happened to the gypsies. Look what happened to the political dissidents. Look what happened to the, mentally challenged people and, people with severe disabilities. Look what happened. That history repeats itself, okay, over and over and over and over again. So, Amish could set up utilities and then never use them. Yeah, but that's not, Robert, that's not, then they would still have to pay. That's the whole point. They would still have to pay. They do it because they don't believe in it. They've lived a certain way for a very, very long time. And the thing is, to me, like I said, let them do what they want. Who cares? We have a ton of Amish. Where I live, we have a ton of Amish in this area. We see them in town on their horse and buggies. They're in more of outlying areas, and they do their thing, and like I said, they don't bother anybody. So I don't know. It's that goes back to the Romans. JJ said, "Oh yeah, well, like I said, history will repeat itself over and over and over again." So so anyway, Merry Christmas, PN1 mods and preppers. Hey, thank you very much, Mountain Girl. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that donation. And Merry Christmas to everybody out there as well. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. It's right around the corner now. Hey, Vincent Prince. I like that. Prince Vincent Koch. Went out for dinner and gave my waitress $25. She was not accepting it. Well, I hope she kept it. So it's very nice of you to do that. That's like I said again, that's the way you do it. We went out to dinner tonight, my daughter and I, before here. So I got my fish fry, and I'm not even Catholic, so look at me supporting the Catholics. But anyway, no, I like fish fries. And since they do them on Fridays, yeah, JJ, that's never gonna happen. That is never going to happen, JJ. JJ's busting my chops. He says, say happy holidays. I don't say happy holidays. I say Merry Christmas. But anyway, I'm not politically correct, JJ, remember? And of course, I got it here. I haven't started drinking it yet, but I will later, just for you. So anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, so we went, went out and ate, and we had our favorite waitress wait on us. And I took care of her tonight. And she was like, oh, no. She goes, that's too much. And I said, nope. Christmas is coming. Go spend it on your family and have a good Christmas. So, but that's what you do. I mean, it's just, that's what I just think it's the right thing to do. And so that's what I'll continue to do. So I would have a GoFundMe for them for being messed with. Robert, like I said, the ALCU they will take care of things. They will not let the government bureaucracy get away with what they're doing, because the people, because of their religious rights, should be able to have that right. Hey, I'd say hi to Heather and the cats. Oh, it's so funny. I got to tell you guys. So, Heather's been home, and of course, Bella's been up her butt. And Soxy's been up her butt the whole time, and so it's pretty funny. She loves it. She loves it. She loves the cats as much as I love the cats. So, but all right. So, second thing I want to talk about. Now we're going to get into the third one a little bit here, but I wanted to mention this because I thought, how ridiculous is this? And I wanted to, because it was all in the news, and then it was in the paper again today. All right. So, the football Army-Navy game. You had some of the cadets were doing, the sign, okay, with the finger, the okay sign, whatever. So there was this whole big uproar, that, oh my God, they're flashing white supremacist signs because some moron has decided that this symbol, which is the OK symbol, is a white power sign, which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. And that's just, I'm just giving you my opinion. So they investigated this. And so today they basically, what they found out, they were playing a game. Wow, imagine that. And I think I've talked about this before. We used to play, it's called Flinch. Okay. So there was a game that we played, and or Major Look or Gotcha or whatever name they want to call it. But what we used to do when I worked at a Bailey's Holiday Health and Fitness, and this is going back many, many years ago, we used to do that where if you could, you flash it like that, and if you could catch somebody like that and they look at it, okay, then you got to, and this was the game. You had to X a spot on their body, you punched it, and then you had to wipe it away. And that was the game. Okay, so we would do that, or it was like make you flinch. So you'd walk by the person and you'd give them the, like you were going to hit them. And if they flinched, then you got to, again, X them, bang, mark a spot, wipe it off, right? So the big part of the game was if you could catch somebody, which was called an upside down double Batman. So I'm going to show you what that is in a second here, okay? But with an upside down double Batman, your head had to be in contact with the floor when you caught the person. And if you did that, then it was 10 shots. You got to give the person 10 shots. So you take your hands like this, okay? You had to do like that, all right? And you had to be laying with your head touching the floor. So think about how ridiculous you had to be laying on the floor with your fingers like that, and the person walked up and they looked down at you, you got them. So it was just a stupid, childish kids game. I was in my early 20s, and everybody at the place that I worked at, we all did it. So we actually got to a point where if somebody went to pretend like they were going to hit you, you wouldn't flinch at all, which is a really bad thing to train yourself for, but that's what we did. So, but anyway, so these guys, these cadets, were playing this gotcha or flinch or major look game with each other in the stands, being stupid young men. That's what you do. You play stupid little games, okay? So they were all exonerated. Some were punished because of, they didn't say what the punishments were going to be for not professional behavior, because when you're in uniform, you're supposed to be acting professionally, especially if you're going to be an officer and all this other nonsense. So it all comes down to, again, some moron down the road here has decided that the OK symbol is a white power supremacist sign, which is ridiculous, because guess what this means? That means okay. So, just craziness. So that foolishness went on. And so, again, more wasting of time, You're showing us your age, Dad. Yeah, well, I'm getting there. It happens. It definitely happens. Guys, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, if you would do that, I absolutely would appreciate it. So, yeah, Kevin H., it's okay to be white. Exactly. And the thing is, this whole thing with, they're trying to perpetuate this horrible group. Oh, my God, there's so many of these white hate groups out there. I honestly, and I really have, and I live out in the country, guys. So there's not like some big conspiracy where everybody out here hates black people. It's just people living their lives, doing what they do, minding their own business. I think it's more of a made up thing. Are there hate groups out there? Are there white hate groups? There sure are. But guess what? There's also black hate groups out there. There's also Hispanic hate groups out there. There's all kinds of groups out there that just, they don't just hate white people. They hate this person or that person because of whatever color they may be. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay. So, but to try to make up this boogeyman, there's all these whites are in this big conspiracy for we're going to hate everybody. It's nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense. And I've talked about this story before, and I'm going to mention it again. Now, when I was growing up, I grew up in the country. When I was little, my grandparents called black people colored. Okay, so that's the generation that they came from. So they had, there was a couple that they knew, and I'll even say their names because they're probably long dead by now. There was Frank and Juanita Baker, because my grandparents are long dead, so I'm sure Frank and Juanita are long gone too. But they were a black couple that lived locally, and they would hang out with my grandparents, and they were, everybody got along fine, and you never treated them any different than you treated anybody else. So at 19 years old, I go into the service. Now, I grew up in a small town. I graduated from Caledonia, New York. Okay, Caledonia Mumford High School, 1984. All right, Caledonia Mumford, we had maybe, in the school, maybe 20 black kids in the whole school. Okay, that was it. Everybody else was white. It was country, guys. It's like way out in the country, So anyway, went into the military. And I have always been a big proponent of, I treat people the way I want to be treated. I don't treat anybody different, anything like that, okay? So basic training was interesting, but it was not, the racism wasn't so much in basic training because everybody's going through the same crap. So when you get done with basic training, you get sent to your permanent party and stuff like that. And so I ended up down at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I've talked about that before, all right? And the racism down there was unbelievable. And I found personally, there was so much more hatred by the blacks against the whites. It was like, I never experienced anything like it in my life. I've told the story before, and I'll talk about it again really quickly. I had a guy that I hung out with. He's probably obviously still alive, I imagine. We were, teenagers then, so he's probably in his 50s now. His name was Dennis Roll, and he lived in Florida. And we got along great. We hung out, would go to the movies, go drink beer together, whatever. He was just a cool dude, and we got along. And he was black and I was white. And he came to me one day and he said, Ed, we can't hang out anymore. And I said, why? He said, the brothers, because that's what he called them, the brothers came to him and said, you may need to make a choice, us or him. Now, you want to talk about racism and forcing somebody else within your own group of color, if you will, to conform to what they wanted, or they're going to be ostracized. And he told me, he said, we're brothers, man, and I love you to death. He says, but if I pick you, he says, you're all I'm going to have. And I looked at him, and I'll never forget it. And I said, Dennis, I get it. I understand. You got to do what you got to do, and I get it. And that's what he did. And that's what, it had to be. And how horrible is that? How stupid is that? But and we're not talking 100 million years ago. We're talking 1985, 1986. That's how it was. I don't know what it's like now in the military, but that's how it was then. Everybody worked together during the day. We all did what we had to do. At the end of the day, the whites went this way, the blacks went that way. If you were red, brown, orange, or green, you picked a side, and that's who you stayed with. And that's how it was. So very sad, in my opinion. It was very, very sad. But, what are you going to do? There's just, you play the game. So, but, I would have still hung out with him. But, I knew what would have happened if we had. So, for him. Not on my side, because the whites never came to me and said nothing. So, because I'm a little bit of a stubborn, opinionated, and I'll do what I want to do type of person anyway. But, so that's I want, but this whole nonsense that these cadets were somehow doing this white power symbol was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So, all right. Politics and racism is the biggest divide in this country. Sad. You know what, right? You're absolutely right, Joe. And it's done on purpose. And they wanted to continue to do that because if they can keep us divided and keep us fighting each other, we're never going to concentrate on the true problem, which is big government. You need government for certain things, okay? There does need to be taxes to a degree, but not to the extent that it is now. There's some things that absolutely should be done away with. There's so much wasteful spending, so much money disappears, which is lining somebody's pocket. Do you think North Korea will send us an EMP for Christmas? No, absolutely no chance. Not going to happen. Again, North Korea, guys, I'm telling you right now, North Korea is no threat to the United States. None. They are not a threat to us at all. because let's say they sent an EMP. First of all, one EMP is not going to cover the whole country, okay? So probably would be shot out of the air before it ever got to the United States. That's number two, all right? So number three, if they did that, we would wipe North Korea off the map. That would be a nuclear retaliation. North Korea would be no more. And that's how that would go. And they know that. We know that. North Korea is not a threat. Iran is not a threat to the United States at all. So, yeah, exactly. Mountain Girl says North Korea knows there would be nothing left of them if they did. Right. So what do they win by trying to do that? They win nothing. Right now, Kim Jong is still in power, and so that's what he wants. He wants to stay in power. He wants to play little grandstanding games, and that's all it is. Sword rattling. That's all. That's all it is. So no, I don't ever see that as a threat at all. No way, no how. I don't see that as a threat. Okay, so third thing I definitely wanted to talk about today. Okay, so I had my little list, and I'm not putting titles up here anymore. They still demonetized my last live stream, believe it or not. They did give it back a day later. But, I just, if I put a title up, everything's getting demonetized. And let me be clear on something. It's not just me, okay? A lot of YouTubers this is happening to. When I talk about what's going on with me with YouTube, I'm talking about what's affecting me directly. So I don't want you to think, oh, YouTube is just targeting me and not anybody else. They're targeting a lot of people, okay? But I know I'm one of those people, and I know there's games being played, and so I just, if I keep here and there, I may have something. If I want to really talk about something, I may put a title up. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm not really sure yet, but anyway. So third thing I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to start out when I was a kid, and I was in high school. Okay. Now I graduated high school in 1984, and I remember in 1984, which is not all that long ago, okay, a little over 30 years, but 35. So, yeah, okay, so 35 years ago. In our entire school that I can remember, we had one fat kid, one, okay? One fat kid in the entire school. There was a study done recently that said that by 2030, which is not that far away, okay, that 49% of the people in the United States of America will be considered obese. 49%, okay? Also, that of that 49%, I can't remember what the percentage was exactly, will be considered morbidly obese. I think it was like of that 49%, 21% of that 49% would be considered morbidly obese. Morbidly obese is 100 plus pounds overweight. Okay, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the biggest health risk that we have in this country today. If you look at the high schools today, I remember when Heather was a senior, and I would go there and I would pick her up. The number of children that were way overweight was absolutely ridiculous. And to me, in my opinion, that is child abuse. Okay, because you are setting up that child for a lifetime struggle, for an early death. Because here's something I want you to think about. I want you guys to think about this, okay? How many 60-year-old, 600-pound people do you know that are alive at 60 years old? You're not going to find many, not very many at all. Your heart cannot take carrying that kind of weight around, okay? You look at some of the comedians. You look at John Candy as an example. Now, of course, when you are a celebrity and you throw drugs and alcohol on top of being overweight, that doesn't help either, okay? But you look at Ralphie May is a good example. He's already dead. He was enormous, okay? A lot of these guys and women will, with being that heavy, they're not going to have a long life. They're not going to have a happy life for sure. And as we get older, We don't get skinnier when we get older. We get heavier. Okay. Now, am I overweight? Yep, I sure am. I will be the first to admit that I am overweight. I graduated from high school at 142 pounds. Okay. During basic training, when most people lose weight, I gained weight. I finished basic training at 149 pounds. I gained 7 pounds during basic training when most people lose weight. Okay. When I was in my heyday of working out, and I'm talking going crazy working out, I was 172 or 174 pounds of solid muscle, worked out all the time, was in great shape. Right now, I am 210. Okay. So I am probably 30 to 40 pounds overweight would be my guess for myself. Okay. I know when I hit a certain number, I've been as high as 227. When I hit 227, for me personally, I can feel it in my breathing. I can feel it, overall, and I hate the way that feels. So I generally, once I get to that point, I make sure that I start eating better and taking better care of myself and try to get my weight back down, because I don't want, to have breathing problems. I'm not getting an sleep apnea machine. It's not going to happen. I'll drop the weight first. So, but we have a major health crisis in this country, okay? And so many of these young people are so overweight, and you look at the diets, okay? And just so you guys know, we're going to talk about the winning states. All the winning states with the most obese people are all in the South, all right? Why is that, you think? Why would that be? A lot of fried food. Down in the South, there's a lot of fried food. So it's tough. It's tough, and it's a hard thing, but it definitely needs to be addressed. Here's what I find amazing, okay? And like I said, I'm overweight myself, so I'm not like getting on here judging and telling you need to do this or you need to do that because I'm so great and I'm so in awesome shape, because I'm not, okay? But here's something that absolutely amazes me. Absolutely amazes me. It is absolutely politically correct to go up to somebody who's smoking and hell and damn them and tell them how awful they are. And, oh my God, the secondhand smoke is so much worse than smoking it yourself, which is BS, okay? That's perfectly acceptable, and it's okay to do that to anybody that is smoking. But if you go up to that 600-pound person that's stuffing their face with whatever they're eating, because they're eating constantly, and you say something to them, well, how dare you fat shame somebody? That's horrible that you would do that. They're killing themselves. Once you get to a certain point and you've reached a certain weight limit, you really need to take a hard look in the mirror and say, what am I doing? And do something about it. With being sick here recently, I lost about 10 pounds. I'm trying to keep that off. So I'm trying to eat better. I mean, like I said, tonight I had a fish fry. And I didn't eat the batter, just the fish, okay? So I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm trying to eat better myself. And exercise is a big part of that, huge part of that. And so, like I said, I'm not trying to shame anybody or humiliate anybody. I'm just I think is so much more of a problem in this country. The intake of food. Why is it? Okay, so think about this a second. You can go and you can buy that greasy burger off the dollar menu, and that's great. But if you go to let's use McDonald's as an example. So you go and you buy that burger, and let's say it's a buck or $1.50 or whatever it is, okay? But if you want to get a salad at McDonald's, that's like $4.50. If you want to get that big, huge jumbo thing of, pop or whatever, you can get that for $1.49 at like 7-Eleven. Big old huge jumbo thing of pop. But if you go to buy a water, that's almost $2. Think about that, okay? What's better for you? What should you be having realistically? Now, don't get me wrong. We're all taking in stuff that we shouldn't take in, But it's just, this is something that's a continuous thing that's been continuously going on, and people just turn a blind eye to things, which is, flipping the middle finger, takes 540 calories. Yeah, there you go. But no, it's just, it's sad. Realistically, it's sad because I'm going to tell you what, I don't care what any hugely morbidly obese person says, how happy they are and how wonderful they are, and they're fine. They're not. They're not. I saw a young couple, and when I say young couple, I'm talking 20s, 20, at a guess, maybe 23, 24. And I was out. I was at a Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. I'm not going to lie. And I will have it occasionally. And so I was at a Taco Bell during the middle of the day having some lunch. And it was a young couple in there. And the girl, maybe 23, 24, maybe, she was so heavy. And her gut was literally one of those ones that like were hanging over the front of her pants. That's how big this young lady was. And, the boyfriend, he was pretty heavy himself, but not as heavy as her. And it's just so sad to see. It's just so sad to see. And it's so unnecessary. And there's something that can be done about it, but people don't. They don't care. They're just going to gorge themselves. And don't get me wrong. All the sweets and all that type of stuff, it tastes good. It's all full of sugar. It's awesome. Like I said, my weakness is sweets, guys. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, muffin top. Exactly, Lori Austin just said. But there was more than a muffin in there. There was a loaf of bread or two in there. So, but no, it's just, it's sad to see. It really, really, truly is. And we call it that too, Joe M. Joe M says Taco Hell. That's what he said. Okay, let's go to Taco Hell. So, but, it's unfortunate, but unfortunately, it is what it is, that's worrying kills more than people than anything. Oh yeah, stress will kill you in a heartbeat. If you're stressed out constantly about different things, it absolutely will affect your health. Absolutely, stress is a killer. So wife lost 45 pounds. That's awesome, Jerry. I'm glad to hear that. That's good. And it's unfortunately, a lot of times by the time we wake up and realize that we're too heavy, we're at a pretty good significant weight, and and it makes it that much harder. So I have a sweet tooth too, but I am footy. I don't know what you mean by that, Carly. I don't know what you mean by that. But like I said, my weakness is sweets. Always has been. I love sweets. The only thing that really, I don't like licorice, except for black jelly beans. Love black jelly beans, and but other than like a regular licorice stuff, I don't want it. Nah, there's certain things I don't like, but it's like cookies, pies, candy. Oh, you name it, line it up. Hook me up with those Christmas cookies. I love those. So, foodie. Oh, okay, you're foodie. Yeah. Oh, that happens. That happens. Meaning eats real food too. Okay, gotcha. Thank you for the clarification. Licorice is great. No thanks. Like I said, black jelly beans. That's it. I love black jelly beans. I can eat them. I get a whole bag and just chow those down. They're awesome. So, but and of course, my children have also inherited my sweet tooth. They love their sweets just as much as I do. So, but. Oh, what was I chewing on at the beginning of the chat, Sean? Okay, I'll show you. Hold on, because I still got part of it left. One little square, right? As I ate part of it already. One little square, 70 calories. I'll eat the rest of that later. But, yeah, I love, like I said, love my sweets. So. Gumballs, yep, love gumballs, all that. Yeah, I'm bad. I'm bad with it. So, but it happens. What are you gonna do? So, but like I said, it's just you have to. Anything in moderation is okay as far as I'm concerned. You got to feed that sweet tooth a little bit here and there. But if you're taking care of business and you're trying to eat right, trying to eat well, like this morning, we had eggs from the chickens, so we cooked up some eggs on the stove and, eggs and toast. And it was delicious. And so that was our breakfast. And then, like I said, then we went and, we had dinner at the restaurant. Nice little restaurant in town. Always very, very busy. They real great service. And we have our favorite waitress, of course. She is, oh my God, 4'9", I believe. Just a little bitty thing, but just the nicest person you ever wanted to see. Very, very heart of gold. So good person. And her and her husband, actually, and her kids live up not too far from where I'm at. So, but they're good people. Yeah, dark chocolate's good for you. Exactly. Obesity leads to the most horrible back pain problems. Well, not even just that, Terrence. You're looking at knee joint problems from trying to walk. You're talking about circulation problems because your heart is overworking. There's so many things that go along with it. Diabetes. Let's look at that with obesity. There's a lot of issues that come with it, So, and like I said, it's just really, really not helpful at all. And but like I said, I just, I'm trying to moderate myself, trying to be better at it, and try to be more healthy. Wintertime is tough because it's cold and it's miserable, and you don't want to be outside and you don't want to do anything. So, we still have our chores that we have to do here. Oh yeah, retaining water. Yep, JJ, you're right. Yep, they have a lot of problems with that. 215 pounds to 145 in 11 and a half months. That's awesome. That's very good. That's and I'll tell you what. And that's the other thing with it. You start taking that weight off, and even 10 pounds, you feel the difference. You absolutely feel the difference. It's amazing how much better you sleep, how much better you feel, how much easier it is to move around and do things and stuff like that. So yeah, it definitely does make a difference. Do you know that the American chocolate, they add beeswax to it? I did not know that, Kat. I did not know that. I know that the European chocolate definitely tastes better. I know that. Full of Hope, 26 kilograms in 3 months. Very nice. Very, very nice. Hey, you know what? A little bit at a time, Do you remember chewing cinnamon toothpicks to prevent colds? I do not. Smitty, I don't remember that. Kat says, I like Canada chocolate. Okay. Well, I know European chocolate is absolutely awesome. So I know that, especially like Swiss chocolate is the best. So, but very expensive. So, yeah, cross-country skiing burns off fat. You're right. Absolutely. Any kind of outdoor activity like that definitely will. I have my daily chores that I have to do every single day. Not every day do I have to bring in wood, but probably every other day we bring in wood. I take care of the chickens every day. Dogs got to be in and out several times a day, and those type of things. So, there's definitely, I'm outside, but when it's really, really cold, and the last couple of days have been really, really cold, I definitely have a tendency to hibernate more. Absolutely have a tendency to hibernate more. Oh, I did want to share with you guys too. I was thinking about this, the greenhouse. Okay, so I called the guy for the greenhouse, and I said, "How am I supposed to do this plastic?" Because of course, there's no directions, no anything. And he said it's templates. So I have this whole big roll of plastic, and what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut out the squares or triangles or whatever it may be and put them up individually. So that's going to be interesting. So I think Monday they're talking it's going to be 50 degrees. So I got a couple friends coming back over. John and Patty are coming back over on Monday, and we are going to try to get going with getting the greenhouse covered on the outside anyway. If I get the outside layer done, and the inside, I could probably do it myself, but we're gonna work on that because Monday they're calling it's gonna almost be 50 degrees and sunny, so it'll actually feel decent out there. So, how do you attach them? What he gave me, and there's different things. Okay, what he was staples. That's what he gave me. But there's different things in the reading of it saying different things. So I'm going to have to get some clarification from him. Jumping up and down for the accomplishment burns pounds. Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah, just being active in itself. Believe it or not, just shoveling snow. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But there's definitely being active out there in the winter if you can be. Some people have different things that they like to do. And speaking of the greenhouse, what is the stem thing sticking up in there? Water source? Yeah, that is a pump that goes back, runs over by the well. And it's not attached right now, but I'm going to probably get that reattached, because that way then we can have, that tied in, and I can have a water source right directly from the well, right in the greenhouse. So that's where that was from. So I plan on using that. So let's see. Black licorice can cause hypertension. Well, anything, an overindulgence in anything is going to cause your problems. Is there some kind of clear plastic that you will put on the greenhouse? It's not a clear plastic, Sierra Gold. It's you're not going to be able to see through it once it's up there. So it's a heavier duty plastic. And we're going to, like I said, I'm going to have to cut out the templates and put them up individually. But what we have for that is staples. So the door was supposed to be delivered on Wednesday, and I got a message from the store, and I can't remember which one it was, but they said that it's going to be delivered on Monday now. So that would be nice if we get the door for the greenhouse. But we're going to focus on getting the plastic on first, and we're going to go from there. So we're going to start from the top. Will you have to put molding over the plastic to help hold it in place? You know what? I might do that on my own anyway, just to help keep it secured. I'm not sure yet. I don't think that staples are going to keep that secured up on there. I really don't. So molding might be a way to go. That's going to be an extra expense, of course, but it'll be worth it if it helps the longevity of the greenhouse. Now, once we put the plastic on the inside of the greenhouse, we probably could get away with just using the staples on the inside, because it's not going to get the wind damage and all that type of stuff is like the outside would. So make sure you start at the bottom panel so you can overlap, like shingles. Oh, okay, so it does not leak water. Well, that's a thought. Okay, all right, so that's something to think about. But we're going to have to get, I think what we have to do, I think we got to get the first couple up on top, because otherwise, how are we going to get to the top once we get to the top? Because you're not going to be able to go out through to get there at that point. But we'll have to figure all that out. So, what is the weirdest food concoction you ever ate? Oh my gosh. God, I honestly, I can't think of the weirdest thing. I mean, I've had shark. I've eaten possum, raccoon, woodchuck, squirrel, all those type of things. But that's not a weird concoction as far, that's just, woodchucks are, grazers. They eat nothing but grass and stuff like that. So they're actually pretty good to eat. Raccoons, same type of thing. They actually are not bad to eat at all. So, but I can't think of anything that, that is the heat shrink wrap plastic or fits tight. It just fits tight. Yeah, it's not a heat. It's not a shrink wrap type of thing. No, so you just get it up there, you stretch it out, staple it in place, and I don't like. Do you have to start at the top? You have to start at the top so you don't snafu yourself. All right. Well, I know that the very top has got to get done first, because that's going to be the most difficult part to do, because of the height of it and where we're going to be. So the very, very top part will probably get done first. Then it does say after that you probably should start at the bottom. And I like, the idea of the overlapping. It's going to be interesting, and we're going to kind of feel it out and see how it goes. But I had actually, John had suggested along the bottom is put a band. There's a band type of thing that you can put along the bottom and tighten that whole thing up that way as well. But that's when we were thinking that it was one big plastic piece, but it's not going to be one big plastic piece. But I still like the idea of doing that for the extra support. But it's going to be an interesting project. I think that, putting like a wood lath type of thing, tacking that in, I think would be a really good idea to help hold it in place. How will it hold up when it snows? Okay, good question, JJ. Because it's a geodesic dome, it's not perfectly round. It doesn't have a flat top. There's no real flat part where snow is going to sit on that and just stay. The way it's set up, because of all of the angles, it's going to slosh off. So, and then if we get any kind of sun at all, whatever little bit that would be on top would melt right away anyhow. So there's really not going to be, and I'm going to tell you, as far as the snow load, let's say we got a ton of snow and there was a foot or two of snow on the very top. It's going to hold up great, because this thing, because of the framework and the way it's designed, it is so solid, it is unbelievable. So, plus the dome will be warm. Exactly. Kevin H said, yep, it'll be warmer inside the dome. So that's going to resonate out, and it's going to keep that warmer. So that's going to help get rid of the snow as well. Yep. Good point. Thank you for saying that. It's going to be, I'll tell you what, I am really, really excited for this project. It is going to be awesome. Absolutely awesome. I cannot wait. I'm like so psyched and so excited. I feel like a little kid at Christmas, to be honest with you. And once we get that closed in on the outside and then get the door in, and obviously then I can go inside and I can start messing around in there. And I can probably do a lot of the inside stuff myself, which will, it'll be easier then, because then it just doesn't matter what it's doing outside weather-wise. If I can get in there and work, it's going to be warmer in there anyway. The all-seeing cat. Stay warm from South Jersey. I'm Prepper Drew. Hey, Prepper Drew, how are you? Thank you very much for that donation. Yeah, you're a lot warmer in South Jersey than we are here. But it's okay. It's weather is so freaking weird. The weather is definitely weird. So, right. And Carlene just said we shouldn't have a problem with the wind either because of the shape. Exactly. That should definitely make a difference as well. So, like I said, I am super excited about this. Once we get that outside done, then the rest I think will go much, much easier. And, if we can get, a lot of it done, and I don't know how long it's going to take, to be honest with you. Once we get going, I mean, the hard part was getting the structure itself up and on. That was very, very difficult. I'm not going to lie. This next part is basically figuring the pattern, getting it on, getting it up there, getting it in place, and then it should, I'm hoping, go pretty smoothly after that. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but it definitely should be interesting. It's going to be fun as far as I'm concerned. Again, it's just one more step to independence and freedom, to be able to grow my own crops. And once I get the geothermal part of it done and do that, being able to grow year round will be huge, absolutely huge. And there's a lot of work yet to be done inside. Once I get this all covered over, then I have things inside that I definitely have to take care of. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of work. But that's the cool thing with that is, doesn't matter what the weather outside is doing, I can work inside and be okay. So that's what's going to be neat about that. And then hopefully by February, I can start, plants and get them going and all that type of stuff. So, oh, you were thinking it was going to be a rectangular shape? No, it's a geodesic dome is the way that the greenhouse is. So, yes. Hey, Heath, come here. People want to see you and say hi. You're in bed? Well, come here real quick and say hi quick, and then you can go back to bed. 9 o'clock and she's in bed. Not even 9 o'clock yet. Guys, if you haven't shot a thumbs up yet, let's see if we can get that puppy up to 300 here before we sign off. I would appreciate that, and thank you very much. So here she's coming. I hear her moving and grooving. There she is. Say hi to everybody. Our college girl. Straight A's. Smart. I think she's looking with about a 3.8 GPA. So Dean's List. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. So she's doing very, very well. Very proud of her. Very, very proud. So look at everybody.
I see that.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Okay, go to bed. I love you.
Bye. It was nice seeing you. Have a Merry Christmas as well. Hold on.
Oh, the Gelkamized?
Yeah.
You gonna steal them on me?
No.
Okay.
Showing a good boy.
Let me see. We'll do like Eddie used to do.
Yeah, and the boyfriend is good.
There's Mr. Gelkamized. All right.
Thanks for taking him out and throwing him out.
I'm not throwing him out. He was on the bed sleeping. You came in and bothered him. Sean just said congrats on doing well in school.
Thank you. I'm a psychology major. For those who are wondering.
Yeah. So she's going to figure out what's wrong with her dad. And she's already told me it's a lot. No, I'm only kidding.
Now, isn't he a big boy? Just over a year old? Look at that. It's big.
He's a good cat. So. All right. Put him down. Let him rest. He was sleeping. You bothered
Go
him.
back to bed.
So anyway, guys. Let's see. Yeah, she's enjoying the break. She definitely is. I can't believe she's already in bed, but that happens. She took like a 3-hour nap the other day. Came home, said I'm going to lay down for a while, and took like a 3-hour nap. So. Smitty says, do you tell the boyfriend to keep his hands on the table and his eyes from the neck up? Well, here's the thing. With whoever Heather's with, I just met him one time so far. So him and I are going to have a chat yet. And basically what I tell anybody that she is with or anybody like that, you don't put hands on her. If you put hands on her, then you deal with me. And the best part of being my age, life in prison is not that scary because, most of my life is over. So, no, I just, he's a very nice young man. First impression, very, very good. And I trust Heather's judgment, but I still will have that talk with him. But I don't think he's the type that would do that because literally if he did, I don't care who you are, how big you are, how bad or how tough you think you are. You put your hands on my women in my life, we're going to have an issue. And if I can't take you physically, there's always other ways to put some hurt on somebody. That's why they make those nice aluminum baseball bats. So, but anyway, so, no, but he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He's squared away. He works and, he's a very squared away kid. So, and she's very happy, and as long as she's happy, that makes me happy. So, the first boyfriend is usually a wuss. The third or fourth is where you get the gun. Oh, the first couple that she had. No, actually, she had one kid that she was dating before we moved up here. And he was a big freaking kid. I mean, he was a lot bigger than me. I mean, he was going probably 225, 230. And he was like, 6'3". He was a big freaking kid, big corn-fed boy. And I remember saying to him, you might be a big boy. I said, but you put your hands on my daughter, me and you were going to have a problem. And he was like, no, sir. He goes, I would never do that. So, size is just size. So, 12 gauge baptism, JJ says. Yeah, exactly. So now I have no problem with, like I said, as long as you're respectful and treat her right, that's all I care about. I want her to be happy, and that's what I care about. So at this point, we're gonna do two things. I'm gonna ask for another thumbs up because we're at like at 8:53 right now. So if you haven't shot that thumbs up button yet, guys, if you would do that, that'd be great. What are we at, 260? See if we can hit that 300 number. Second thing is we are legion, guys, because we are many. We are all over the country. We are all over the world. The scary thing is what people really don't understand is if we truly organized, the power that we would have would be amazing. It really, truly would be. Because there's a lot more of us than you think that are getting ready. A lot more of us. And if we organized and networked and got really squared away, we could truly make a difference now and later. That absolutely is the truth. We could make a huge, huge difference. So where is everybody from tonight? We got Coldwater, Michigan. See, Smitty, you jumped the gun. I did not ask yet, and you jumped the gun. Now I did. But where's everybody from tonight? What is your opinion about skinny people? Depends on how skinny they are. If they're too skinny, they need to eat a sandwich. I've seen plenty of those people too. New Mexico, Belfast, Indiana, Beaufort, South Carolina, Ohio, Howe, Texas, Idaho, Mobile, Alabama, Virginia, Nevada, Chicagoland, the Netherlands, South Jersey, Southern Indiana, Oklahoma. Let's see, we got Colorado, Tilson and Hudson Valley. Let's see, Florida, BC, Canada, Minnesota, Nebraska, Arizona, Israel, very nice, Minnesota, Virginia, Missouri, Raleigh, North Carolina, Indiana, Motherwell, Scotland, very cool. Frozen tundra in Maine, yes, I'm sure it is up there, Mountain Girl. Arkansas, Kentucky, Homer City, Pennsylvania, Madison, Minnesota, the UK. We have Wales. Let's see, California, Syracuse, New York, Fort Payne, Alabama. Let's see, Canandaigua, that's New York. Let's see, Oklahoma, Hawaii, Southern Illinois, Indiana, Minnesota, West Central Indiana, Wales in the UK, Ohio, North Florida, California, Scotland, very nice. Let's see. Anyway, so guys, we're all over the place. I see Brooklyn, New York City. We're all over the place. And there's a lot more of us than people realize there are. A lot of people don't ever even talk about prep, and they won't even let you know that they're prepping. They're all over the place. We got Australia there. Very nice. So, but yeah, there's so many of us, and we're a big family. And if we were smart, really truly smart, we would network very, very much and get to know as many people as we could and try to work together. I think that's really important to do. I didn't even have any green tea tonight. I'm still working on my hot tea, which now is lukewarm tea. So, let's see what we got here. So anyhow, guys, I hope everybody has a great Christmas. I hope, you can spend it with people that you care about. Doesn't always have to be family as far as blood goes. Families a lot of times is not blood. It's the people that make you who you are, make you feel who you are, people that support you, emotionally and everything else. So that's family. To me, that's family. So, so like I said, again, I will not be live streaming next Wednesday. So when I live stream on Sunday, 2 days from now, obviously, then I will live stream again the following Friday. But I definitely will not be live streaming on Wednesday because that's going to be Christmas. And I don't want to take anybody away from their families. I think it's important that we spend that time with the people that we care about. So, like I said, just be safe. Don't drink and drive, because even though it's Christmas, the cops are still going to be out there and are going to be looking to jam people up. So don't put yourself in that situation. And if you're going to drink, have a great time, but have somebody else be the designated driver. That is the way to do it. It's not worth it. It's too expensive, and taking the chance of hurting somebody is definitely not worth it. So, Yep, great clean chat. My moderators, guys, do an excellent job. I appreciate you guys. You do a fantastic job. I appreciate them coming in here 3 times a week and giving me that time and to make sure that the chat stays clean. So thank you guys. I really, really, truly appreciate it. I talked to Wolfang today. He got his gift card. So he got it today, he told me. So that's awesome. I'm glad he got it before Christmas. And so everything is out. Everybody should have what they were going to have and from the giveaway, which is awesome. And so that's great. And, so there we are. But Merry Christmas, Ed and Heather and everyone from the U.S. and around the world. Thank you very much, Brad. Thank you very much. And I hope everybody does. Wherever you are, whatever you're celebrating, whoever you're celebrating it with, tomorrow is actually a big day, realistically. It's a winter solstice. Now, I want to clarify that. So I'm saying it's the shortest day in the year. I keep saying the shortest day in the year. It's the shortest day of sunlight in the year, okay? So that's the clarification. That's what I mean when I say the shortest day in the year. It's still 24 hours, but it is the shortest day of sunlight in the year. After the winter solstice, and it's also the first day of winter, then the days start to get longer again, which is great because I hate winter and I'm ready for longer days. So more sunlight, let's just say. So, yep, shortest day of sunlight in the year. That's exactly what the winter solstice is. So, big day tomorrow, and so I'll be glad it comes and goes, and then we start getting longer. And it takes a while. It's not all of a sudden it's going to be like, wow, look at it, it's 9 o'clock at night and it's light out. That's not going to happen for a while, but we're working towards it in the right direction, which is good. So, again, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting my channel. It means a lot to me. It really, truly does. You guys are awesome, and it's very, very cool. And I enjoy doing these chats. I love getting on here, talking with everybody, sharing thoughts, sharing ideas. It's really, really cool. So I want to say before I sign off, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you can get all notifications. I'm live streaming 3 days a week. I put videos up every day, sometimes 2 in a day. So it just really depends on the day, okay? Remember, guys, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel, okay? What do we hit? 297. Come on, guys. We need three more thumbs up here to hit 300. Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from getting there, the only one, is you. That's it. Nobody else can stop you. Again, guys, obviously we'll see you all on Sunday, and I will talk to you more this week. But again, be safe if you're traveling for Christmas. Please be safe. Be careful. Enjoy that time with your friends and family, because that's what it really should be about, is being thankful and being grateful. That's what it should be about. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.